Yeah, we played 7. So I had to move things over. Wait, why are we shaking our head because of the Cavs?
No, I didn't realize you started the stream. No, I mean it's fine. Go basketball. I'm trying not to talk bad about your favorite. Welcome to Office Hours.
I didn't even say anything about. Okay, now hold on. No. I didn't even bring LeBron into this. I didn't say anything about LeBron.
I know. I'm just. Welcome.
There's no way. Cleveland basketball. Okay, we play Boston tonight. Cleveland basketball. Damn it.
Go Cleveland.
Thank you.
Yeah, especially over Boston. It's like not even a question.
Okay. I'm calm.
Welcome to Office Hours. Today, we are talking about what everyone and their uncle has been talking about, it seems, in the hip-hop US world, which is Kendrick versus Drake versus everyone else and their uncle who has decided to jump into this beef. I know a lot of people have been asking me my thoughts on it, and I have a lot. I know Sto, you do too.
Okay, first off, before we jump into anything, make sure you hit the subscribe button, okay? Hit the like button. We got over 70 episodes of information, tons of topics, honestly. We are trying to lean more into doing stuff like this, random discussions and whatnot, but still. And let us know what you think of all of this. There's a lot going on, and we love to hear what you think and whatnot. So definitely leave that below. And yeah, thank you for joining us and watching. I mean, whether now or down the line, because I think we genuinely are talking about one of the biggest rap beefs in history. So welcome.
Okay, so like to sum it up, the Cliff Notes version. Metro Boomin and Future released the project. They had a song. Kendrick was on it. And said some transphobic stuff and then stepped out and said, nah, I'm not doing this. I don't feel good about it. And then Drake responded, and then Kendrick responded, and then Drake responded, and then Kendrick responded, and then Rick Ross responded somewhere in there, and Quavo responded somewhere in there, and a million other people have responded in there. But now Kendrick and Drake are going back and forth, and that's like the Sparks Notes version. And it's interesting because I think people have even forgotten that this came out of like Metro and Future's project, and now it's become so much about Drake and Kendrick. Yeah, like there's so many places to start. But Sto, I would love for you to start because I don't think my opinion is going to be very popular.
That's why I was going to have you start. But fair enough. Listen, there's a lot to unpack here, and I'm gonna just say up front, I'm not here to decipher every single word that was said. There's tons of other channels on YouTube that have really gotten to the nitty gritty of it. Yeah, I just okay. You know what? Whatever. I'm gonna take the slightly more entertaining route, I suppose. Number one. Real people knew that Drake never stood a chance here. I'm just going to throw that out there. There was never a point where I thought that Kendrick was going to get barbecued that hard. And even if I decipher the little lyrics that we do have, or that I do understand and know, Drake contradicts himself a lot. And even, listen, I'm just a sociology major that does a little bit of writing on the side. Who am I? But okay, now we got to be careful because of YouTube shit. But like, if I'm being accused of certain things, I'm not quite sure I'm using some of the language that he used in his last joint to, I guess, close all of this. Now, obviously, everyone on the internet is like, well, what about Kendrick? What about Kendrick? And I agree. What about Kendrick? Because there are allegations out there, or at least an allegation from Drake's camp, right? That is important. I'm not going to go too far into this, but like on Kendrick's last record, he kind of covered exactly what happened there, seemingly. Now, I'm just a guy. I don't have any inside information. I'm not saying things went one way or another. I think I'll end with this. One guy has an allegation against him. Another guy has a quick Google search will show you everything that Kendrick said. And it's not new information. And I actually, the last thing I'll end off with is this, is that Kendrick tried to warn this man. He tried to warn this man because even on the tracks, everyone's like, oh my God. Some of that information was information we already knew. And Kendrick just kind of repeated it. Once things kind of went a step further, that's when Kendrick then I feel like was like, okay, I guess we're going here now. Kendrick didn't really say anything that crazy, even on the Future track. If you go back and listen, all he said is that I'm the best. That's it. Nothing really that insane. And so I just think that there's just a lot of language being used that aren't that's more incriminating, I guess, than providing a proper defense or whatever. Lyrically, I mean, we can go back and forth all day, but Kendrick cooked. I ain't going front. I'm two-stepping to fucking Not Like Us. There's even my lanky ass can dance to that shit. So yeah, you can feed me a couple shots and you can catch me. It's not like us. It's not like, yeah, come on, let's go. But yeah, that's all I
got. So let's start with the positive, which is watching Drake finally get the dragging that he deserves for things. To your point, none of this is new. We've been knowing he's a culture vulture. We've been knowing he's a misogynistic piece of shit. We've been knowing he's a pedophile who grooms children. Like, none of this is new. So to finally,
there goes our demonetization.
I mean, if calling people pedophiles is demonetization, YouTube needs to get itself right. But like, these are things we've been saying, we've been knowing. No one took it seriously until another dude said it. So let's talk about that first. So watching Kendrick get dragged for filth, watching Drake get dragged for filth, I'm so here for it. And finally, like, people are listening because again, none of this is new. Kendrick, also problematic. He's low-key misogynistic and has some really like old school patriarchal tendencies. So like, he's not perfect. He's just more creative and smarter in how he's saying what he's saying. And let's not even talk about J. Cole, who has been on his misogyny, transphobia bullshit. And
him into this. Damn, he catches strays anyway.
Listen, like, here's the thing with Cole, and I think we might like J. Cole, who has refused to apologize to women throughout his career, apologized to himself, and he's getting applause. Fuck out of here. Like, that is not a great thing that he did. That's
apologizing to himself.
Like, what? No. And you knew you were going to get dragged for filth. And so you stepped out, and that was a smart PR move, not a creative move, not a like,
right.
No. There's
no way Kendrick hit him up like, yo, listen, bro, listen, Crody, sorry.
What Drake is now catching. So there's that. Here's my thing. I really honestly don't give a shit about this beef. And I'll tell you why. Because there is literally a genocide happening. There are rappers and musicians who are facing execution for speaking truth to power. And so the fact that these artists, some of whom have been named conscious and are given, like, are put on that pedestal, who have so much of the world's attention right now and so much power and platform and reach, right? In a world where like we just talked about it, right? If I say pedophile, we're going to get demonetized. If I say Palestine, we're going to get shadow banned. They're not dealing with any of that kind of stuff. They have so much reach, power, attention, et cetera, and they have not said a single word. Talk about the other things you're talking about, and also use your platform. And the fact that they haven't, and it's now been multiple weeks with multiple songs, with multiple opportunities in this moment in time. Okay, you don't want to talk about Palestine because that's another country, and cool. Talk about the students who are being attacked by police. Talk about Cop City. It feels like such a narcissistic ego stroke in the service of what? Patriarchal, like what patriarchal clout, capitalism. Like, I just have zero respect for it. And it feels a little bit like an intentional, like, this is where I was like, oh, I understand how people become conspiracy theorists, because this feels like such an intentional distraction from the real beef that's happening in the world. And here's the thing, like, it's so interesting watching people like analyze, oh, he said A minor, which musically means this, and and people. So you have the time, energy, capacity, and intellect to analyze Kendrick lyrics, the Pulitzer lyrics, right? Like, the man has won awards, to analyze Drake lyrics, to go back and do historical research. So you can do the same thing about what's happening in Palestine. You have the time, energy. So it's a choice that you're making. And the artists who are leading this are not drawing you in that direction. They're drawing you into escapism or distraction or whatever it might be. So that's where I'm at. And when the cherry on top is then when someone like Macklemore releases a song that very explicitly talks about all the things. Now you got me rooting for Macklemore over Kendrick. Never thought I would see the day. But that's an example of someone who is using his power, his privilege, his access, his reach, his this, that, and the other to say something in a time when it matters. And again, I'm not saying like we can't have beef, there's value, right? Like, this is hip. But to not say anything at all, to not say anything before, to not say anything during, to not say anything, it's hard. It's hard to still respect these people who position themselves as leaders of a culture that's all about resistance at its core from its birth. That's how I feel. Macklemore? We're celebrating Macklemore today? What? I can't even be mad. Like,
hold on, Macklemore can't be catching strays. He's not god awful.
I mean, listen, I think he's corny. I think he has a lot to learn, but I think he's trying. He's doing something. And he's using the attention that he has, the reach that he has, the power that he has, the access that he has. He's using it in the service of something that's really, really, really important right now. And it's not about, it's not about checks. It's not about virality. It's about, listen, this is things that we need to talk about. These are images that we need people to see. And Kendrick's not doing that. Drake is not doing that. Cole is not doing that. Future didn't do that. Rick Ross, and no one else has done that. And it's really hard to sit here and be invested in something when those artists are not invested in me or my communities.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I guess my thing only with Kendrick, because I've never seen anything with Drake, is I've at least seen Kendrick like help his communities, help his people and stuff like that, at least a little bit. You know what I mean? And so I completely understand. And I think we're at a time where more celebrities need to be, because I just feel like it's not that difficult. That's what I think. It's really not that hard to quickly educate yourself on what's happening, and to even if you yourself are not like typing something out, like sharing all of this information and sharing these images is important. And I do think that does get lost, obviously, when all this celebrity garbage is going on. And I think the reality is like none of these celebrities can be respected. And so I think even Kendrick fans, myself included, put him on a pedestal of, XYZ. And so it is, again, it's not hard. It's not that difficult. You got an account where you're barely posting or whatever. Is it that hard to kind of just put something out there? Just show that you care. And so I see all sides. I completely understand not being invested. I completely get it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, right? Like, it's so fun. Like, hip hop beef is fun, right? And and I'm not saying that there's not value to that. And we like to analyze lyrics, and we like to look for the Easter eggs, and we like to, like build on the history. Like, it's fun. And we talk about this, but this is like the things that as fans, you get invested in an artist. This is the kind of, right? This is when you build
all the time,
yeah, like this is how you get your fans who are invested and they care, and they're like analyzing lyrics that may or may not have the meaning that you intended, but they're taking it and they're running with it. And this is where, again, as an artist, you have so much wealth at this level, right? And here's the other thing is, like, I'm watching artists with so much less say so much more, do so much more, take much bigger risks. And so the fact that these are the self-proclaimed top 3 are just, it's cowardly. You have artists who, because we know the stigma is real, the backlash is real for speaking up on things, especially speaking up on Palestine. We've seen it. And you have artists who are saying no to deals, or saying no to endorsements, or pulling out of things, or using their once in a lifetime platform opportunity to talk about it,
to say something, and you're not willing to take any risk. It's just, it's so cowardly. It's so cowardly. Which, let's be honest, for them, it's not even a risk. It's not.
That part.
And so, especially if we're going to hop on tracks talking about how much we make it and stuff like that, splits and shit. Like, hello? Like, can we just pretend maybe a little bit that you care? So yeah, I understand, and I'm willing to admit, for me, it's a nice distraction. A lot of weird shit is going on right now. And to be completely honest, like, even with this, the whole thing, it turned into some weird shit as well. So it's just like, there's no escape. My God. But it's, even some of y'all watching this video, like, have done more to give back, to share information, to propel things forward than some of the people making the most money, at least in the country. Yeah, Canada's part of North America. There we go. Nailed it. So it's just, it is weird now, especially now that things are dying down and stuff like that. It's just like, okay, like, we can do anything with our platforms, anything.
I really think that, like, when you have so much privilege, you have to take risks that are in proportion to that privilege. Otherwise, like, right, like, you look at someone like Cole, who's built his whole career on being conscious and being woke, and what has he actually done?
There you go.
Like, and what has he done? Yeah, I mean, and y'all know I hate J. Cole. I think he's misogynistic on so many levels, but, like, and I love Kendrick. Like, I've been a Kendrick fan, so it's actually really disappointing to see these people, and I'm like, dang, maybe they support what's happening, are they Zionist? Like, you start thinking, because
Oh yeah, because that's you, especially.
Why? So, shout out for real to the artists who have less and are doing so much more. It just makes me so sad. It just makes me really, really sad. And I know we keep talking about Palestine here at Office Hours, but because we have a platform and we can't act like nothing's like it just, anyways, it's hard not to get in my feelings about it. But the silver lining is that Drake is finally being outed for who and what he really is, and people are finally listening, because none of this is new. We've been trying to tell you
for a long time. Like even again, all those articles and stuff is available, and like some of those articles will tell you how long that article's been up, and some of them say over 3 years. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens next. Of course, I do kind of hope it's done with at this point. The last track was garbage and sounded like a man desperate to attempt to recover his reputation and whatnot. But listen, we definitely had to do this one. It's shaken up the entire definitely music industry, but like I've gotten texts and messages from people I haven't talked to in a minute about this stuff, and so it's nice to talk about what's happening, bigger things happening. Make sure you're paying attention.
Tell us.
Say that again.
Well, no, I was just going to tell folks, like, tell us what you think. Tell it, like, wrong. Am I, is Drake really the greatest? Like,
oh my God. If you say Drake's the greatest, there's about a 500% chance I'm going to block you from the channel. Damn it. I did
a conversation with someone who was like, yeah, he's a pedophile, but he makes hits. And I was like, what is wrong with, like, how like is that? What? Like, but we would love to hear your thoughts on Kendrick, on Drake, on beef, on what's happening in hip hop today. Why you think people are silent? Yeah, I would tell us what you think.
We just want to hear from y'all. Yeah.
And also tell us who are artists that are doing it right and doing it well, and are there's a ton of folks who are. Faye has done some really great work. Low Key has really been speaking out. Narcy has been speaking out. Shadia Mansour, since like forever, has been speaking out. Tumaj in Iran. There's so much and so many people. And so this has been such a US centered conversation in this like top 3 of hip hop, but there is a world of music and there's a world of musicians who are doing more than the bare minimum. So tell us what you think. Tell us who we should be listening to, who's doing it right, who's speaking up, who's not being cowardly. And obviously hit the like, hit the subscribe, share with your friends, all that good stuff, because a different way of being in the music industry is possible. And that's what Sto and I are here to normalize.
100%. We're doing, I can't remember the first word, but getting rid of perfection next time we hop here in 2 weeks. I can't remember how we actually phrased the episode. But
we're doing following up and following through. So
what's next?
Yeah, because I changed the order of operations. So I kept the next episode as it was, and then I moved this one to the.
So we're not doing perfection next time.
We're doing perfectionism, we're doing unlearning perfectionism after we do following up and following through.
Oh shit. My bad, y'all.
It's updated.
I didn't look at the spreadsheet.
We have a spreadsheet. Keeps us very organized. Yeah. So it's on anyways, but our next 2 episodes. Yeah, our next 2 episodes are going to be about unlearning perfectionism and about how to follow up and follow through. Because, you meet someone, you shake hands, you're like, oh, yeah, we should work. And then what happens?
Nothing happens. Right.
Oh, we should link. And then what happens? Those are our next 2 episodes. reach out to us if you need anything. Please take care of yourselves, but don't stop talking about Palestine and other important things that are happening in the world. And go Cleveland tonight.
Yes, let's go. Come on, Cavs. I know we're gonna get swept, but hopefully there's a chance. We'll be back soon.
We'll see y'all next time.